Top 5 games to improve your kids' thinking ability. Game 1. Connect 4. Connect 4 on paper is a great way to enjoy the game without needing to purchase a physical board. It can be played anywhere, and you can play as many games as you like without having to worry about using any pieces. Draw dots to make a 6 rows and 7 columns on your paper. Take turns with your opponent placing your colored markers, usually red and blue, into any one of the columns. Start them from the bottom of the column. The first player to get 4 markers of their color in a row horizontally, vertically, or diagonally wins the game. If the board fills up without a winner, the game ends in a tie. After the game is over, you can start a new game by erasing the board and starting again. Here is your demo. Game 2. Hangman. Hangman is a word-guessing game that can be played with paper and pen. One player chooses a word category and writes as a title, for example animal, and writes a dash for each letter of the word on the paper. For example, if the word is dog, the player would write ___ on the paper. The other player guesses one letter at a time, and if the letter is in the word, the player who chose the word writes the letter in the corresponding blank. For example, if the player guesses O, the player who chose the word would write _O_ on the paper. If the letter is not in the word, the player who guessed the letter draws a part of a hangman, such as a head, body, arms, legs, etc., on the paper. The game ends when either the word is guessed correctly or the hangman is completed. The player who chose the word can choose to set a limit on the number of incorrect guesses allowed before the game ends, such as 6 or 7. After the game is over, the players can switch roles and start a new game. Players who guess the word in a minimum chance wins the game. Game 3. Word Ladder. Word Ladder is a fun and challenging game that can be enjoyed by players of all ages. It is a great way to improve your vocabulary and spelling skills. One player chooses a starting word and writes it on the paper. For example, the starting word could be cold. The other player chooses a new word that is only one letter different from the previous word and writes it below the first word. For example, if the first word is cold, the second player could write cord or coal. The players continue taking turns choosing new words that are only one letter different. from the previous word until they reach a predetermined ending word. For example, if the ending word is harm, the game would end when a player writes warm. The players can choose to set additional rules, such as limiting the number of guesses or disallowing words that have already been used in the game. After the game is over, the players can switch roles and start a new game. The player who comes up with the ending word in a minimum guessing of words wins the game. Game 4: Dots and Boxes. Dots and Boxes is a fun and easy game that can be played by players of all ages. It is a great way to improve your strategic thinking and planning skills, and it can be played anywhere with just a pen and paper. Draw a grid of dots on the paper. The grid can be any size, but a common size is 5 dots by 5 dots. Players take turns drawing a line between two adjacent. The line can be horizontal or vertical, but not diagonal. If a player completes a box by drawing the fourth side, they write their initial inside the box and get to take another turn. The game ends when all the boxes have been completed. The player with the most boxes at the end of the game is the winner. Players can choose to set additional rules, such as limiting the number of lines a player can draw per turn or playing with a time limit. Here is your demo. Game 5: Categories. This game coming up with words that fit into specific categories. It is a great way to improve your vocabulary and knowledge of different categories. The game can be played with any number of players, and players can choose to play with different categories and time limits to keep the game interesting. Choose a category, such as fruits, animals, or colors. Write down a list of letters of the alphabet on the paper, from A to Z. Set a time limit, such as 1 minute. Players take turns coming up with a word that fits into the chosen category, starting with the first letter of the alphabet. Once a player has come up with a word, they cross off the corresponding letter on the paper. Players continue taking turns until the time runs out or all the letters have been crossed off. Players get 1 point for each word they come up with that fits into the chosen category. The player with the most points at the end of the game is the winner. Still, while you waiting? Get a paper and pen and start your game and have fun. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.